Okay. We're so I'm in the server. Like
So
I
I put
said.
in the password. I put in our password and it worked.
That is so random. That is so random. But I think they're about to do knife round to see who starts. And
Okay.
Mr. Later is in here, guys.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Tried to get him to volunteer to work today and he didn't even talk to us. That's the one thing that we've got to get him on board with, talking to us.
Talking. I think it's
So
you need to stop yelling at him so much.
I do yell. I'm a screamer. So I want to ask you, do we want to do instead of doing our normal placement where we just kind of
No, let's do it
warble
like
on.
a real game.
Yeah, we treat it like it's a regular season game and give it its due.
I think that's what we should do.
So the team name is actually Xeno. It's not short for Xeno or anything, or Xeno something. And the other team, I can't actually tell you what they're called. Do you know?
Let me look at the match columns real quick. It
Like
is Kinetic.
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 Kinetic. Okay. Have we chosen sides? I'm back into the game.
They did the knife round. Terrace won, and they
dropped the
are
player.
switching. Yeah.
Oh, they're swapping.
Yeah. So Kinetic is taking CT side. Xeno's going to be starting T side.
So for our longtime viewers, you know right now that normally we would go through the keys to the match, what we're normally doing here, what the map is like, what you should be looking for. Assume that we've done that, that we've warmed up. Play.
It's
No
mid-control
pipes.
anyways. It always is.
We got to really start like cycling through our content, Clay. We can't keep saying mid-control. For
It
this
seriously
season,
is, though. There's so many maps where mid is, like,
right?
the
It's
key.
it's the 3-lane map that everybody they're so adverse to seeing new maps. When they see something that isn't the traditional 3-lane Dust 2 kind of map, they're just like, oh, what is this? We don't want this as a competitive map.
It is, right? Yeah.
That's so silly. That's terrible. You know,
It
that's
is.
why I want Cobble to be played. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll treat the next round as the round that we get started because I use this as sort of a preamble. I'm personally offended at the fact that we're stuck in the MOBA era of gaming where we have to have the 3 lanes. That just makes me upset. Why can't
You think it's
why-
transferred over because MOBAs?
well, because 5 players somehow means 3 lanes to people. What about Cobble? That's 2. Prodigy, that's 2. Right? Aztec, that's 2. And everybody's like, oh, these maps are too one-sided. Yeah, they're one-sided, but both teams get to play both sides. Suck it up.
Yeah, it's one-sided, but it makes you have to be more creative. So, I mean, that's where that comes into play. I guess people just don't want to think as hard.
Think is hard.
Yeah.
Think as hard, Clay.
To come up with the strategies. I don't know. I like those maps. I don't know what everyone else's problem is.
I'm over it. Okay. You are watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton, my partner is Klops, and this is our warm-up. It's been a long time since we've been able to cast something with the gravity that we normally give to a regular season match. And this is not a regular season match. This is the bracket phases of the placement tournament. What is the placement tournament? You ask, well, Clay's our specialist, and he'll tell you right now.
Yeah, everybody signed up for the placement tournament because they didn't want to compete in CEVO Open. They wanted to jump towards main, and people who get to the 3rd round of the bracket stage, I believe, are eligible to be placed in main, and that's what they're fighting for right now. This is the 1st round of the brackets right now. So
That's right. Xeno has landed a good entry. Now we're forced into assuming that
Which
this is
Xeno?
not. No, I just meant Xeno.
oh,
the team.
I thought you got confused and called someone Xeno, but it was their tag.
No.
My bad.
Xeno has forced the entry, and they will continue to do so. Judging by the fact that this is an eco round, you could probably even assume that they'll clean up the round now that they're up 5-1. On an eco round like this, Clay, you're looking to force rebuys, right? You're looking to try to make the occasional suicidal play, and right now none of that's been achieved by the excuse me, the team. What's the team name again?
Kinetic. Yeah, they didn't go for a 5-man push anywhere, which you might expect on an eco round. They decided to just play in the sites and try to pick up a gun from the entries, but the Galil entries from Xeno were just too strong, and they couldn't get in with their pistols. The nades from Xeno also helped them out a bit. So yeah, not the greatest of eco rounds, but they have another one here where they can make something happen. They could probably P250 armor and still be able to buy on the next round, so we'll see what they do, and it looks like a few of them are in fact doing that. Not with
Right.
the armor, but they're getting P250s. So.
I want to ask the audience really quickly about whether our sound levels are equalized. If you are having any kind of audio difficulties, it's something we want to knock out very early in the process here before we even get to the regular season. So if you guys can give some input on if our sound levels are about equal, if we can do anything to adjust it to make this a better experience for you guys, or if anything visual is giving you any problems, if you have any kind of stutter or lag or anything that we need to know about, please do let us know. We have a clean entry here, an assist by later cleaning up WTF Ender or What the Fender. I remember him a long time ago. You remember that name?
Yeah.
We had a hard time saying that name.
Yeah.
Kinetic has one person left on the field. He, Dub P, is fielding a Galil. He has a chance to maybe get an exit heal, but unlikely he'll clean up a full clutch. That may be a touchdown nade if What the Fender doesn't move. He's got a Galil to save it. I don't really personally like the Galil as a weapon going into main gun round, so I think maybe he just throws this one away.
Just throws it away, huh?
Like that.
Yep. He could. Yeah, depending how you're playing against, or if you lose some people and they can't afford it, then you could go ahead and throw it to him. It's not too bad. But yeah, I would definitely sub out for the AK right now. I don't think I would hold on to that Galil since especially the CTs are going to be buying right now. So you want to make sure you're on par, and that's exactly what they do. So I wonder if that was Mr. Later giving him that call.
Yeah, well, it's possible. They all have very good game sense. We know that Adam Lataraka is pretty good about bringing his level of game sense and meshing it well with his ability to play himself. There's a good question that I'd like to ask is who in particular the IGL for both these teams? Because, amateur teams, you're not exposed to this sort of knowledge. You don't know the players nearly as well, but it's interesting to know how the IGL will play, and their play style may be reflective of their overall team's play style, the way that they call the rounds here. Early kill. 2 burst brings down Kinetics and a BNY. I'm going to just call him BNY because it's a long mouthful. It's very difficult to say. What the Fender comes up over the top of the vent, brings down Dub P. 3 left, only 1 in the site. He will face a firing squad in the back left. He gets mowed down by a trio of AK-47s, and the site clearly now the terrorist. Xeno's going to plant, and they've got 2 CTs left with M4s. Clay, this is the start to sort of a slide, right? And if they, being Kinetic, don't climb up out of this is something that's going to greatly affect the outcome of the half.
Yeah, that play, they didn't really emphasize mid-control. They had a Dub P who was pretty much watching it solo, and he decided to go play into the vents area, which, no eyes on mid allowed a free T boost, and when he came back out to check mid, they were already there and got the easy kill on him, so it was really an easy entry for him to get to B after that point.
Now, when you say not having mid-control, and you've mentioned it as part of the game analysis that we didn't do at the beginning of the game, what exactly about mid-control allows you to improve your chances to win on either side, really?
Well, if you get mid-control, that establishes basically another lane to enter either A or B. You could enter B from the vents, like I said, or you could push through CT spawn and come around the back and get a good flank going. And what that allows is basically, it allows the terrorists to hit the sites from multiple angles. I'm missing some kills right there, which is going to get the CTs looking in opposite direction and allow easier kills for the terrorists, so...
Yeah, that's really the case. Somebody asked in chat, is Later, or is Adam the IGL of the Xeno squad? No, he's not. He's actually a sub because he works with us practically full-time during the week. He gets a lurk kill there, and Dix inside the site will bring down BNY. It looks to me, Clay, that Kinetic is just partially overmatched and partially kind of getting buried in the economic game, and it's hard to discern whether or not they are actually overmatched because of the fact that the momentum is so far against them and we haven't really seen enough, but you get the sense, don't you?
Yeah, it does look that way a little bit. Hold on, I gotta check, I gotta do something real quick. I gotta rebind my auto director because... There we go. Okay, all fixed. I had to change some bindings around from when we played that 10-man invent in, so yeah. But anyways, yeah, it does look to be that they are a little bit undermatched here in terms of skill. I mean, we've seen Xeno... Overmatched, thank you. We've seen Xeno in the preseason pretty much dominate all their competitors so far, so I mean... And it looks to be going that way so far. I mean, the brackets are a little mismatched. The highest seed people are playing the lowest seed people, so it could be just a little bit of a mismatch here. But that's what happens when you don't place high in the tournament. So
Yeah, if they kind of stumble into this one, which is a harsh way to put it, this is ultimately what's going to happen. A squad as good as Xeno will be waiting for you, and just like that, what defender will run into the site and destroy your 3 best site defenders. 2 ops left on the field to retake a bomb site is going to be quite an ugly affair if they are forced to actually do this. Now one of those ops is gone. BNY is faced at the Z with the terrorist, has 1 on his left coming to the white truck. A lot of nades to pressure him, and he's in a bad situation with 58 seconds remaining. 58 seconds, Clay, with an op. And everyone knows where you are. This is all kinds of bad news.
Yeah, it's one of those positions you don't really want to be in unless you can get that kill right there. But no, he's still in a bad spot. They know where he's at. They could easily plant the bomb, or he's just going to go in and clutch it.
He has 73 health left and an op. This is totally doable. Later, just too fast. Xeno is up 6. And, oh god, Kinetic is already down and ecoing again. I can see a force coming at around the 4-4, 4-5 range. It looks like they'll just go for the P250s and hope for the best. Clay, this is a map where you split 8-7, right? As an IGL, I tell my team that we can climb back into this one, but let's not mince words. At 6 down, making it back to 7 is likely impossible.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough. I mean, they do have the losing bonus money going for them, but
I don't think that's something to celebrate, though.
Yeah, no, it's not. But in fact, I'm actually sad when you get the win and then you lose that money. But anyway,
yeah.
You know, I think one thing that they could do to improve here is start using some nades here. I mean, you see that smoke from that BNY. I think that's probably the first time I've seen that smoke thrown in mid to delay any type of push. But there's what the defender, he actually pushed through the smoke and didn't get punished there. So a little bit of a mistake coming through the CTs. But I mean, I think they just need to use nades to more effectively hold these sites, honestly.
Here's something that I just noticed that just this round has happened, is when the terrorists are getting the entry frags, that the CTs who are dying are at least aggressively trading out their partner. Yeah, you probably should trade Ts to CTs more than you should trade CTs to Ts, but at least you know that if you trade out, you're getting yourself at least a fighting chance to win at the end of the round here. I like that, and that's exactly how Citizen and later went down. Hopefully, in future rounds, there'll be something at least to salvage or learn from what just happened.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, you know, as long as you're trading, if you die, as long as you get a kill or get 2 kills, that's obviously better. But I mean, at least getting 1 kill for your death is definitely the minimum requirement for dying. Obviously in CS, if you're just
well, I was gonna supplement your comment here. Honestly, I feel that even if you're getting a 0-sum gain, 1 person dies on both teams, it always feels like the terrorists have won that exchange. The terrorists, their terrorist impact economically is cheaper, which is the empirical evidence, right? That it's a less impactful death,
yeah.
And because the defensive positions have to now be kind of out of whack because of how the maps are built for 5 people, it kind of benefits the Ts.
Yeah, no, it does. But I mean, if you're not trading out anyone, you're obviously just fighting a losing battle. But yeah, the Ts do benefit on those trades because they're usually going to be forcing more people into one site where you take 1 guy out and they're left with just 1 person defending, or 2 people versus 3 or 4 left. So yeah, I mean, they do win in those engages, but still, you got to make sure you get those trades.
Dix there, nice 4 burst and a follow-up 2 burst to bring down Dub P and BNY, and the slide continues. Jasper and C Fader with M4 and Famas. Oh, flanked and dropped the bomb on the 4. It's a 2-on-2, and they have control of the bomb. Now they need to rally together and defend it together. Otherwise, this is all for naught. Kinetics, Jasper ambushes WTF, and we're down to a 2-on-1 and possibly onto the first win of the half for the CTs. There it is, 7-1.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I don't think it's really shooting skill that's setting these guys apart here, because I've seen the guys on Kinetic make some good shots here, but it's just, I think they're just having trouble holding the sights and getting their rotates going at the right times. I mean, there's been multiple times where mid's been taken pretty much freely from the terrorists, and the work into B is just I mean, the defense in B is a little sloppy as well, so I think they just need to work on holding their sights, and this would be a much closer game.
Clay, tell me this, as a defender, look at the nade loadouts for the CTs here. It's a mistake. I see multiple flashes and frag grenades. Frag grenades are the last thing that you need as a counter-terrorist on a defensive hold. I would much prefer to have a single flash and a smoke as opposed to the double flash and a nade, because of the fact that the smoke is so powerful in global offensive.
Exactly. The smokes are very, very strong. If you're a terrorist trying to come through, the CT is going to see you before you even get through the smoke, most likely, so that should be an easy kill for the counter-terrorists. Frag grenades, honestly, I'm not really a fan of them too much in Go either. I mean, you
They're
can't
nice to
count the
have.
number of
They're nice to
frag
have.
kills you get usually, you know?
Yeah, it's just a nice feather in your cap, right? You have the frag nade. Maybe you can throw the touchdown nade to clean somebody up without risking yourself, but it's not a necessity like a flashbang or a smoke grenade. Speaking of how deadly smoke grenades are, BNY just found out the hard way, trying to force this the retake. There's my first slip of the cast. Trying to force the retake, coming through the smoke, gets blasted, leaving Dub P by himself with P90. I've noticed, Clay, that on these forced buy rounds, well, partially forced buy rounds, he'll actually opt to use the P90 at a distance. And did you see that AD-AD? He almost won that long-range battle with that AK.
Yeah, kind of strange right there, but yeah, if he didn't AD, he might have gotten the kill.
Here we go, the first CZ that I've seen, and it doesn't have a...
Someone bought one the second round on CT side, so but it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't make an impact at all.
Okay, give me your opinion on it. A fully automatic but low magazine capacity weapon.
Now, honestly, I haven't tried it yet in like a competitive scenario, so I'm still out on it. But I have been killed by it a few times, and it does seem pretty strong. So
here comes the suicidal push. As we know, on an eco round, they're want to do. The counter terrorists have rushed through A main, trying to flank the guys at B, and it's likely not going to happen. One alive in the site, and one flanking far behind. Now just one flanking far behind. That's Jasper, our number 3 man. Now the clutch man coming through the horseshoe, going to bomb site B. Nobody's actually holding the flank just yet, but
there's a lurk over in mid.
But Jasper's, well, he's got his back to him, and he's gotten down anyway. 9-1. Kinetic is kind of walking right into the meat grinder. They're just getting pulverized a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, it might be one of those things where maybe Kinetic is better on T side than they are on CT side. I mean, we do have those scenarios. I remember Afterlife was one of those teams who performed better T side. Their entry kills were a lot better, and they just weren't as good at holding sites for some reason. But so maybe that's the issue here. But I mean, the lead that Xeno is getting right now, even if they are a better T-sided team, I just don't think they'll be able to come back if it keeps going the way it is right now. But we shall see.
They're saying to each other that this server is not good and that they have problems with the double sound. We can tell you right now that the double sound is a product of the patch that came out recently. It's you hear a reverb that makes it sound like your weapons, whether they be a pistol, a knife, an AK, or whatever. It sounds like it's firing twice. It's maddening, really. I think it is. It's so bad. But the server performance itself is not something that we typically hear of. Game Servers provides pretty high-quality servers for everybody to play on when it comes to CEVO, so that's a first for me.
Yeah, I mean, such a big deficit, I don't know if you could solely blame the server, but...
yeah, I don't think Xeno finds the servers are any...
Yeah, I think they're thinking the server is just fine.
Yeah, my shots are going straight. Where are your shots?
But, yeah.
Kinetic, however, we should mention, is up 1 man, and that's an advantageous position to be in. Jasper's thinking to himself, there's so many people dead. Where's a gun? I need a gun.
Yeah, exactly. He went for that Deagle buy, which the Deagle has seen some improvement. I know a lot of people are still saying it's still trash, but I think it's better.
Oh, compared to where it was. Everybody wants to use the rose-tinted glasses to talk about where it should be in 1.6 or Source by comparison, but in terms of where it was in Global Offensive, it's night and day. One-on-one, Jasper with that Eco Deagle has to face off against Dix, and now we'll find out if that purchase was really, actually worth it. He'll come through this tree room, check the corners. He's got one on his left. It's the clutch that he needs to make. Can't do it. Dix guns him down. 10-1. They lead by 9.
Firing a little too fast with that Deagle. You got to take it just a hair slower, and it's a little more accurate. But I mean, it does. He was also, left of his head a little bit. But I mean, not too bad for a force buy. Getting 4 men dead, forcing rebuys. Except it's really not going to do too much because look at Xeno's cash. Everyone above 10K except for one person. So I mean, they are sitting pretty right now, and it's like I said. It's just coming down to holding the sites, using their nades effectively. And look at this, Dub P bought an op, so that's a little bit of a communication breakdown, but it might be working out in their favor here, so.
So you're getting dominated at the point of attack at bomb site B, and the people who are holding that doorway from the horseshoe into the bomb site are being sort of aggressive. They're forcing you to play further back. The solution here, obviously, is to not force the issue. Hold the corner, hold horseshoe, don't let them push you, but then let your mid players do some work, right? Smoke off mid, wrap around to B, and then force the CTs to split their attention so that they won't be so aggressive in the doorway. It's not really occurring to Xeno, and this is sort of how probably their ultimate shortcoming when it comes to reaching upper echelon levels of play. It's not really occurring to Xeno to let their teammates develop plays like that, and I think when they reach main, and I think they will reach main, they're ultimately going to run into that problem, right? It's the difference between IM players that can shoot and main players that can really think through their problems.
Yeah, but it could also be the fact that they are in such a commanding lead right now that they're not going to that depth of play, maybe.
Right, yeah.
You know, I mean, I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt there.
Maybe
but,
their brains have just shut off for a little
yeah,
bit.
you know, they're just going through it, getting just getting kills. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, that is one of those things that differentiates, you know, a high-level player and, you know, invite or professional between main and whatnot. And, you know, when they do get to main, if they can't make those distinctions, then it will cause them some problems, because there are definitely some teams in that division who can think at that level and will apply those points that you just noted. So.
Right, being able to think like that while under fire, while in the heat of a game, is really the difference between yourself being a pretty good team and being on the edge of greatness, right? It's the really good in-game leaders, the Days of the world, that can identify that all of us on our team can shoot, but so can everyone else on complexity. So let's make some adjustments. That adjustment might be wrapping around to B. That might be waiting for a teammate to get into a better position. Those chess pieces are what a main team needs to make it to that next level. I'd like to see that, because clearly we're trying to focus on the positives here, if you guys haven't picked up on our tone. And Dub P does have quite a positive there. Firing through the smoke, bringing down Dix. It's a 2-on-2. We'll get back to what we were just talking about in a moment. One trap towards CT coming with a teammate. They're going to try to go through heaven. That's their only recourse for action, given that the doorway is smoked. They'll have to go 2-2, both with ops, and retaking with ops cannot be any harder. Here comes the first. He's in the heaven. Citizen waits for him. Op waited, bated breath. No entrance. Very odd to take it this slow. Here's the barrel sticking out. Citizen sees the first shot, gets Dub P. BNY knows where he is and doesn't respond. That's a critical error that will end up costing him the round. It's a quick shot. However, the bomb timer has advanced to the point where there is no more action to be taken. He retreats, and so does Pross. Too slow on the retake, Lay. Very, very slow.
Yeah, they were coming from different angles, but they were just a little bit worried about where the T's were hiding when they should. Well, I think the main problem is that both of them had ops. If they had the chance, one of them should have probably picked up an auto, and you know, he could have forced his way into the site and kind of baited out the T's for the opera a little bit, and you know, that probably could have helped the retake a little bit more. I find retaking sites with ops is a lot harder in Go than it is, but I find opping in Go is just harder in general. With a nice shot from being right wide and right there in mid, so take it away,
go on the opposite side of the map. Pross will trade one. Dub P gains one upper hand again, and it's a back and forth affair. It's a sort of a forced buy, micro buy round here. There's an op on the field certainly that was saved, but for the most part, nobody really has formalized weapon spot. Dub P with his P90 has 2 kills on the round. WTF will bring down one. It's a 2-on-1. Now it's a 1-on-1. C Fader faces off against WTF, or What the Fender. 17 and 6 is his KD compared to C Fader's 7 and 12, who's had a rough go of it lately. He's got the bomb in his favor, but he's in a very obvious defensive position, and I would, if I were him, not actually play here. A minute left on the clock. Well, I think What the Fender is going straight for the bomb, making a wide arc of it, and then walking right to warehouse, being very careful, actually. Not so much beelining as I had initially described, but being very methodical. C Fader has a great angle on him. He has a chance to probably tee off on him if he gets a chance to see him, but What the Fender is being very, very careful here. Just totally ignoring the dumpster room and the warehouse, going all the way to T-spawn. 35 seconds remain.
Good game awareness. He knows he has plenty of time here. Like, he was at about 45 seconds when he made it to the B warehouse. So, I mean, he has time here. It's He's starting to go a little bit too slow now as it is winding down. Maybe he's just opting to go for the save since they're so far ahead.
He knows it. Now he makes the he makes the sprint for it. Has his gun out at the last moment. I saw him whip out his knife at 1 second to look for maybe some acceleration, but there was no need to do that. He has to know that the moment he approaches the bomb is the moment he's going to be ambushed. So odd that he wasn't prepared after taking so much time to be prepared.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if the bomb is down, the CT is most likely keeping his eye on it from somewhere. So you got to make sure you have those angles covered. Coming around the corner, he locked eyes with him, just didn't react fast enough to get that kill.
Yeah, so, you know, I said we wanted to revisit a topic, and we will. At a certain level of play, and I bring this up because we have a new P division, the Pro division in CEVO, there's a skill ceiling, right? There's only a certain amount of things you can do to make your player more effective. You can shoot as well as can be, and you can be Shroud as in terms of AK efficiency and bullet placement, but all the pros are going to be able to do something near that skill ceiling. How do you differentiate yourself? Well, you need to have some sort of good game leadership, and you have to be able to identify the fact that the decisions you make gravely weigh on the outcome of a game. And the rap, as we were talking one-on-one here, Dix on the platform versus BNY. BNY making a lot of noise here, turns away and was flashed. He flicked too fast, came back, and the flash detonated, and that was unfortunate.
Yeah, and what you were talking about, the game awareness, I mean, a good in-game leader is definitely key, but you kind of have to have that individually as a player, because there's not going to be always times where your in-game leader is going to, know what's going on, and I mean, obviously good communication will help that out, but you got to be able to make some heads-up calls on your own and develop
Actually,
your own awareness.
somebody on our stream, we called for our audience to help us out here in case we had probably... in case we had some sort of sound issue or video issue. Somebody asked, why is the aspect incorrect for the stream? I don't know. What are you guys experiencing? Because when I see the stream, I see something that looks pretty good to me.
The aspect ratio is fine. I'm not sure what they're talking about. I actually just said it because I do normally play at a lower resolution, and I purposely fixed it before I went live today. So,
well, maybe they see something that's out of whack, but it looks fine.
I think
to
it's
me.
just the fact that it has the black bars on the sides, because we do stream at I have a higher resolution monitor, so that's probably why.
Yeah, Clay actually does stream and downstream to a more acceptable ratio for most people to see, and it also helps with the bit rates that we send through to Twitch. So Twitch, by process of downscaling through OBS, will make these black bars appear for you, which is why you think the aspect ratio perhaps is off.
Yeah, it's because I'm like I said, my resolution is 1920 by 1200, so it's not downscaling to a perfect 1080 or 720. So.
All right. Anyway, back to it.
I don't think this is live.
Oh no.
One thing I also noticed, they screwed up the minimap again. If you look at the dots, they made the numbers lighter, making them harder to see once again.
Why do they keep doing that?
I don't know.
It's impossible to see.
I don't know. It was
What is
fine
that
when
number? What is that number in CP spawn?
It's getting ridiculous. I'm
We're
sure
gonna have to
they'll change it again though.
Here we go. This is the LO3. Know that because the score is now wiped, you will not know it going into the second half. We will record it for you and announce it periodically. It was 12-3 at the end of the half for Team Xeno on Terrorist, who have now swapped to the CT side. 3, concordantly, is the score line for... I just forgot their team name again.
Kinetic.
Kinetic. There's my second foible. This is where casters
Well,
get
none
out.
of them are tagged, so it's yeah.
Here comes the rush. It's a 5-man pain train all the way to B. 1-1 trade. Pross holds on and does his job. Nice long-range headshot. 2-2 trade thus far, and one more at the quad. This one looks to be in favor of the terrorists thus far. Citizens, the last one coming up through the connector, and will land 2 immediate headshots. That one, C-Fader made it a little bit too easy for his opponent. Citizen faces off against Dub P, who has not yet planted the bomb. He cannot because of his position. It's going to be a face-off that Dub P will have a little bit of an advantage. Oh.
Don't do
That's
it.
a decoy. Here's the moment. There's the shot. Good play by him. Dub P decided to not plant the bomb and go for the aggressive play. It caught Citizen off guard. Xeno has lost the round. It's now 12-4.
I'm surprised no one in Xeno vent or voice chat was saying, "Why are you peeking? Just play the bomb sound." and wait for him to come to you if he's gonna come to you. You know.
Yep.
A little bit of a mistake there, but some P250 boss here, and
I
actually see
tell you right now, I get a little antsy, right? So if I'm on the clutch and I just land 2 really good looking headshots and I'm like I'll play loose and I'll just make big plays. I think perhaps that he just let the battle rush get to him. I've had that.
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
it's definitely there. But like I said, I mean, usually there's someone who's
like
who's
that?
in your voice comms that will tell you to stop being an idiot. So.
Yeah, but you know what I mean when I say battle rush. Like there's that emotion. You're like, oh yeah, I can do this. Hey, look at this skin. The fuchsia is now. Look at that.
I like the name, clever.
BNY comes around, needs to check the former headshot box. He loses that battle. That automatic CZ finally pays off. Gives him a weapon. A crouching P90 kill. Who's ever heard of that? What defender will turn, find one more, bring him down. The triple round for him. 2 more in the sight. Actually, 1 more in the sight. He's out at mid, spraying down everybody. It's a P90 round. 2 twos right there. That eco round almost was lost by Kinetic, and Xeno made a good run of it. They forced a good amount of rebuys.
They did. And that's going to be 12-5 now. Sorry, I just want to make sure I was keeping track. What defender coming big with that CZ, and I mean, up close, that thing is definitely strong and worth it. Like I was thinking, when I first saw the initial implementation of that gun, I was thinking, you know, it might be good for like an eco round rush where you have 2 people on your team buy it for just to get in there and try to get some kills. As we see the rush coming in, DB and BNY, excuse me, mowing him down with his P90. Yeah. But yeah, so CZ75, I think it can be viable.
The two 12 round mags don't do it for me, Clay. I'm a little bit more loose with my ammunition.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it's, you know, maybe a partial buy for a couple people on your team, and they're just kind of like the suicide bombers, I guess, for the reference there.
Yeah, I see it. I actually had thought while I was inspecting the gun that perhaps you could have 3 magazines where you had the first 2 magazines be 12-round magazines and you treat it as such. The third round, the third magazine would be the one that's the foregrip for the pistol. You remove it and you put it into the gun, and maybe the gun becomes suddenly wildly inaccurate or something like that. But at least you have something to work with. I think that would work. I think that would work.
Yeah, that's possible.
Anyway, Jasper needs to make some quick work of this round because he's lost a couple of teammates. Now it's down to a 1-on-3, though he hits 2 nice shots. His teammates did nothing for him. 3 left on the round for Xeno, and they're creeping up on Jasper. This is the execution. Jasper will go down. Xeno tacks on 1, and that's 13-6.
Correct. So that buy round coming in, Xeno just waiting for it, and you know, they have the buy advantage. Not the advantage, but they got their buys in, and they were able to hold down the sights nicely, not making any mistakes really in middle or anything like that, like Kinetic did on their CT side. But we'll see. You know, we got another buy here from Terrace, and you look at that, what the defender. Putting down a fire in mid and then looking towards that boost spot because he knows that the fire should be able to isolate the guys trying to push through, and it will most likely lead to a boost. So
here's
pretty
a
smart.
mid boost, as you said. Dix will engage somebody at mid. He has a teammate that's lost now. There's a 1-1 trade, and we like those trades for the reason that we've explained, but he knows that somebody else could be on his left. Citizen had a hard time connecting those shots there, moving his crosshair off the target and pretty much whipping those. Dix is taken down. BNY traded out. Pross
Free
will trade
entry
him.
into that site.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised that they let him. Ooh, never mind. That they let him do that. Citizen will bring C Fader down at mid. The action is fast and pounding thus far. So far that we can't actually offer any analysis to the entries that we were trying to talk about. 2 left for the T's. 1 extremely wounded. Dubty there will face later. Too strong. If he finishes that one, that's a double for him. Both headshots. Xeno attacks on another. It's 14-6.
Yeah, BNY just waltzing into A and getting that free kill. It could have been so problematic. I don't even understand how a terrorist just walks through the main entrance to a site without being seen and pops off a kill. But I mean, it's something that they were able to clean up right there. So I mean, that could have been bad.
I had 2 errors, 2 speaking errors thus far this evening, which speaks to the rust from not officially casting for a while. But the other thing that looked like a hit for what defender. The other thing is that I didn't even do the halftime acknowledgments and the welcome and the greet. I completely whipped on that. That's 3 mistakes.
That's
but
big.
That feels like 10 mistakes.
That's a big one.
Oh man.
And that's the tie point right there.
You lose one week or 1 month of serious casting, and suddenly your skills all leave you.
What team is what the Fender on, by the way?
I don't
Do you
know.
remember?
But yeah, that name is just so familiar.
Yeah, he's been playing really well this game. Actually, all of Xeno has been doing really well, but I mean, we're on the tie point now, so we're going to see the force buy from the terrorist, which actually they saved for. I can't say that name for some reason.
Dub P will bring down Citizen, and What the Fender will bring down C Fader. Thus far, the story of the game has been trades and appropriate rotates and long flanks. Back and forth all the time. Dub P has been in this situation before with very little health trying to get into B. Thus far, he gets the bomb plant, and he and his teammates hold on to the site. He's on the left by the headshot box. He could ambush some CTs if he got discovered, and he doesn't land any shot there. He had a perfect opportunity to absolutely